that nigga ass right now. Ain't no none of them niggas can't fuck what?
Bow!
You never fuck me, my nigga.
What's happening, YouTube world, boxing fight fans all across YouTube world? Salute. What it is, what it do, man. Nocturnal Thoughts. Name of the channel, Boxing After Dark with Nocturnal Thoughts. Yo, so today I'm gonna do a video. Right off the top, I want to say you're gonna have to bear with me. You know, I'm gonna do a lot of digressing so that I try to stay on topic as much as possible. Most of this is off of the dome. I do have a list here just to try to keep me on track, but I'm gonna do my top 10, kind of a hybrid top 10 favorite fighters, top 10 pound for pound fighters, from 10 through numeros unos. So, like I said, top of the dome for the most part. So bear with me if I go off track. I'll try to digress and get back on track with my list. But I want to talk about some of the my favorite fighters, or my pound for pound fighters, based off, you know, what I believe to be the respectable accolades, and what they might do in the future that will continue to gain the respect and continue to keep them on the track of being, you know, pound for pound, or being the best fighters of 2021. So without further ado, all my new subscribers, bow, 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 bow. Salute, 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 salute. Everybody that's been rocking with me from day one, all my day one riders, my family, y'all know who y'all are. Big love and double salute for Nocturnal Thoughts. Let's get into it. So, number 10 is high-tech Vasyl Lomachenko, the Matrix. Now, for the last year or 2 years, he's been mentioned as pound for pound number one. He had a very, very deep amateur background history, like 400, 500 fights. Came into the professional game and lost his first fight against Salido, who basically was using those old school, dirty, professional, veteran tactics. You know what I'm saying? Headbutts and elbows and low blows. But from that point, he was able to catapult his career and his mystique and his pound for pound status coming from an amateur, based off his fight against Gary Russell Jr. He was able to defeat him. You know, Gary Russell Jr. said that he was gifted that fight due to the fact that he miscalculated his scale that he was using to make weight, didn't synchronize up with the scale they used at the fight, so he had to do some last minute weight cutting, came in the fight without the pop on his punches. But nevertheless, Lomachenko won against Gary Russell Jr. He also won against Jose Pedraza. Oh, like I said, top of the dome. If I say a name wrong and you know who I'm talking about, just leave a salute in the comment. He won against Jose Pedraza. He was able to beat Nicholas Walters. He beat Guillermo Rigondeaux. He went on to defeat Jorge Linares. And then he also beat Luke Campbell and Corolla. Just recently bit off a little bit more than he could chew, and he lost a 12-round decision to the Takeover, Teofimo Lopez. So my number 10, that drops him down. He was never my pound for pound number one, but he was in the mixes as everybody else's list. He got knocked down to number 10 due to his loss against due to his loss against Teofimo Lopez, and then coming out with the shoulder injury excuse and the, Bob Arum paying off judges excuse. We're not gonna go down that route. This is my first digress. I digress. Going on to my number 9. Number 9 pick in the heavyweight division. AJ, Anthony Joshua. It's hard for big boys, it's hard for the heavyweight guys to get a lot of love on the pound for pound list. It usually goes to the small guys who can move up in the weight divisions. But Anthony Joshua has earned my respect in the last year and a half. I'm not gonna go back too far, but some big names on his resume. Of course, Vladimir Klitschko, a motivated Vladimir Klitschko, who he knocked out. He got knocked down against Vladimir Klitschko, gets back up. They have a rough fight, and he ends up, KOing Klitschko. He fought and beat Povetkin. He fought and beat Dillian White. He fought and beat Joseph Parker. He took his first loss against Andy Ruiz. We know he was set up to fight, big baby Gerald Miller, big baby Pop Dirty, and substitute bring in Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, knocks him down 4 times. He comes back with rematches, clash in the Dune, Saudi Arabia, 12-round decision, adds some wrinkles to his game, outboxes Andy Ruiz, starts to earn back respect. Took a L, didn't make a lot of excuses. Rumors came out that he might have been concussed, things of that nature. Move on. He comes and fights Kubrat Pulev, knocks him out in dramatic fashion. A lot of credit, a lot of props for that. He's on his way. If he cements that fight with Tyson Fury and he defeats Tyson Fury, he will shoot up on that list for me. Damn near to the top. Salute. And I hold myself to that. Right now, I got him at number 9, and that was a juggle. My number 8 pick is Iron Man, Jermell Charlo, the little twin. Yeah, he got knocked down too. He used to be on my list. He would have been a little bit higher, but he got knocked down. And the same reason why he made my list is because, the same reason Anthony Joshua made my list is because they got knocked down, they got beat, but they came back. I put Jermell a little bit ahead of AJ because Jermell didn't get knocked out. Jermell was in a close fight, controversial decision against Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison won by decision, came back for a rematch, and he pulled out because of an injury supposedly to his ankle or to his foot. Bring in substitute Jorge Cota, as I believe that is his name. Jorge Cota gets sparked out. You know what I'm saying? Then they have the rematch. They have the rematch with Tony Harrison. It's big talk, back and forth. It's real beef. You know what I'm saying? It's real bad blood. It ain't pretend. It's real. They get in there, they mix it up. Tony Harrison gets dropped in the second round, boxes his way back into the match, gets clipped with a hook, got caught hooking with a hooker, gets knocked out 2-3 times. Judge waves it off. Beautiful comeback story. And then to top that off, he had a fight against a tough Jason Rosario. Jason Rosario had just came off of a good victory from Julian J-Rock Williams. And we seen Rosario take a loss against Nathaniel Gallimore. We seen J-Rock beat Nathaniel Gallimore. Then we seen, J-Rock fighting Jason Rosario. We thinking that, J-Rock was on a mission because J-Rock had just beat Swift Jarrett Hurd. He comes in there, fights Jason Rosario on his own hometown turf territory and gets knocked all the way out. So Jason Rosario goes into the fight with Jermell Charlo with a full tank of gas, a full steam behind him, and gets beat. Gets hit with a jab, stab to the body right here in the solar plex. Boom, puts him down, and he's on the floor, herking and jerking, ain't getting back up. Jermell Charlo, Iron Man Charlo, makes my list at number 8. Then I'm gonna move on down to number 7. Number 7 on my list is another heavyweight. Like I said, it's hard for heavyweights to get that love, but I have to give love to Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King. He also had Vladimir Klitschko on his resume, was the first one to defeat him after Vladimir was on a 10-year run of completely dominating the heavyweight division. Him and his brother, what's Vladimir Klitschko's brother? Vasal, you know what I'm talking about. The Klitschko brothers dominating the heavyweight division, not even, you know, creating that lineal championship because they wouldn't fight each other. Along comes Tyson Fury. Lifelong dream was to beat Vladimir Klitschko. He defeats him by these. He makes it like a boring boxing match for my taste back in the day. A boring, lackluster match, but when you look back at it in hindsight, it was a masterpiece, a master performance. Beats Vladimir Klitschko, goes on a binge of contemplating suicide, depression, weight gain, drug abuse, alcohol abuse. There's a little bit of, you know, foul play in his victory against Vladimir Klitschko because of, you know, the what was found in his system, the PEDs and whatnot, boar meat, whatever the case. But nevertheless, he comes back. He's called out by the Bronze Bomber Deontay Wilder. He accepts the challenge. He does 2 tune-up fights. The names that he fought, they slipped my mind. Put it down in the comments below. Add value to the game. He fights Deontay Wilder and has a split decision where most people say he outboxed Deontay Wilder. I said it was a draw. I agree with the draw because he got knocked down twice. He got knocked down in the 9th round, which was not nothing devastational. It was a clip punch. Caught him on the top of the head. He gets down. He looks kind of frustrated, embarrassed at himself for just making that little mistake. He gets back up. 12th round, Ben Davidson's telling him, stay away. All you got to do is box and you win. You got it in the bag. And he didn't stay away. He's a warrior. He goes in there and he takes it to Deontay Wilder and he gets knocked out. All the way out. Now, the count was a little, what's a good word? The count was controversial, but nevertheless, he gets back up like the Undertaker and he finishes the round strong. Decision. He goes and fights Schwartz. Then he goes and fights Otto Wallin. Gets a nice cut over the eye, under the eye, gets surgery, get, you know, stitches. Says he's gonna go in there and fight and beat Deontay Wilder and knock him out in 2 rounds. Everybody's like, no way, Jose, you was crazy. No, he goes, he leaves Ben Davidson. He links up with Sugar Hill. Shouts out to Sugar Hill for the interview he did on Barbershop Conversations, Drew Titan and all of that. Another video for another day, second digression. So Tyson Fury links up. He's drinking protein shakes. He's training his diet. He's working on his come forward. He's not flip-flopping his punches like this. And he's coming, putting the whole 270 pounds behind his jab. Fights Deontay Wilder in a rematch. Drops him in the 3rd. Beats him from pillar to post. Puts him in the headlock. Ragdolls him. And then ultimately, Mark Breland throws in the towel. The boxing world explodes with a bunch of Glovegate conspiracies, this, that, the third. I digress. Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, has the ability to go fight Anthony Joshua and do the first heavyweight undisputed lineal unification, have the baddest man on the planet type fight. Is potential. He's number 7. My number 6 is the one. Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is number 6. Give some props to the little guys. Came and fought Jose Pedraza. His knockout record is impressive. Now I think he has 20 something fights and only 1 fight that didn't end in a KO or a TKO. Little explosive Tank. He beats Jose Pedraza. Who else did he beat? Off the top of the dome, he knocks out, and I'm not gonna go Leo. Hold on, somebody's sending me a text message. Wow. Okay, so he beats Jose Pedraza. Then he knocks out Yuriorkis Gamboa. Controversial victory. Some people say he should have got him out of there earlier. due to the fact that Gamboa gets knocked down a lot. He's older. Nevertheless, Gervonta Tank Davis had a little issues on the scale, got stripped. Had another issue on the scale. A lot of people was questioning his discipline. You know, we seen him blow up, seen him hanging out too much with Adrian Broner and things like that, partying. We seen him snatch up his old lady and drag her out of a stadium. But he has refocused himself, redisciplined himself, got prepared to fight Leo Santa Cruz, made weight at 130. They was fighting for like 130, 135, something like that. Leo Santa Cruz, you know, he tough fighter, had 2 tough fights against Carl Frampton. Came in there, put on a good performance. Some people say he was even outboxing Gervonta Tank Davis, but Gervonta Tank Davis catches him, bow, with a very vicious, very brutal uppercut. Put Leo Santa Cruz to sleep. Now we're talking about Gervonta Tank Davis versus whoever, Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia. Some people got Tank higher on the list. Some people giving Tank a lot more glory, a lot more shine, a lot more credit, you know what I'm saying, than I even give him. I think right now he's the potential, but I digress. Number 6, Gervonta Tank Davis. Number 5, right now, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's too many dicks on the dance floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna substitute, take this person off my list, put them as an honorable mention at the end of the video. But my number 5, Claressa T-Rex, the GOAT Shields. I never wanted to call her the GOAT because I don't like really calling people the GOAT. I don't like calling the men the GOAT, greatest of all time. I don't like to do the greatest of all time. But out of respect for T-Rex, you know what I'm saying, all my heart, all my love going out to you. I salute you, I salute you, I salute you. I'm gonna tell you what, T-Rex captivated me when she came out on the Netflix movie. She was like a roundaway girl, just a little mean, driven, motivated. Her backstory was crazy. I could relate 100%. You know, her issues with her family, her issues just in life, period, her living with her trainer and things like that. And I just, you know, anyway, she jumps onto the professional scene and I lost track. She's about to fight Christina Hammer. So I said, let me go back and see what she's been doing. 2-time gold Olympian champion. Let me mention that. 2-time gold Olympic champion. I go back and watch her fight Tori Nelson, who's like 40 years old. And, you know, Claressa Shields punches with mean intentions. I'm thinking she's going to get a knockout, a TKO. She doesn't do it. It goes the distance. So when I'm looking at her fighting Christina Hammer, I say, man, Christina Hammer just has too many advantages. She got that long jab. Her career. She's got more experience. She's going to go in there and she's going to just outpoint Claressa Shields because they got 2-minute rounds. And, you know, I had more advantages going to Christina Hammer. Wrong. Claressa Shields goes in there and just dog walks Christina Hammer. And I said, man, I never, ever doubt her out again. That earned my respect on a high level past just the fact that I thought she was a beautiful round-the-way girl that I had I want to say a crush. I didn't have a crush on her, but I'm like, man, that girl is adorable. And anyway, she goes on to fight Ivana Habazin. And we see how her trainer, Ivana Habazin trainer, was having some issues with the team of Claressa Shields because of, you know, looking at her on the scale, and it was some bad talk. And he gets caught sucker punched by somebody, and somebody runs out the place, and this guy's on the floor and he's leaking and bleeding, and Habazin is crying and everything like that. And the whole thing could have been so ugly for Claressa Shields, but the way she handled herself in public, the way she handled herself in interviews, so much class. One of the things that I am impressed with by Claressa Shields more than what she does in the ring, beating Christina Hammer, beating Ivana Habazin, is the way she handles herself in front of the camera. She definitely is always spot on. I usually watch her after fight. She gives the best post-fight analysis when it came to Adrian Broner versus Manny Pacquiao, when it came to Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, and the list goes on and on and on. Whenever you put the camera in front of Claressa Shields' face, she says the most logical, real, and then, not to mention, she called out Layla Ali. I believe she was 100% serious on calling out Layla Ali. She wanted to settle that. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to settle that score. Like, let's fight. Let's get it on. Then she called out Amanda Nunes. And not only that, she actually started to commit herself to training MMA with Holly Holmes and what's the one guy's John Bone Jones. So she's now even putting herself through that excruciating transition of turning herself from a boxer into a mixed martial artist. So I had to pull out too many dicks on the dance floor and put a beautiful brown sister in there. Number 5, Claressa Shields, T-Rex, the GOAT, greatest woman of all times. Now let's move on. Number 4, this is where it gets a little tricky, because I don't want to stretch this video out way too long. I'm gonna try to digress. Number 4, Terrence Bud Crawford. I know he got the COVID-19 mask with pound for pound number 1. I know a lot of people got him ranked pound for pound number 1. Very understandable due to his resume coming up from 3 different weight classes, getting to the welterweight division and capturing a championship from Jeff Horn, who took his championship off of Manny Pacquiao. I'm not going to go all deep into all these rabbit holes. Just to say, shots out to Terrence Bud Crawford. He's my number 4. And I can do a whole video right now on Terrence Bud Crawford and my number 3 guy. None other than Errol Spence, the truth. Right now it's a big dispute. 60-40 split, 50-50 split. Let me go back on Errol, on Bud though. Bud fought and defeated Hake Lundy. He fought and defeated Victor Postal. He fought and defeated Gamboa. Tank Davis also beat Yuriorkis Gamboa. Did I mention that? I think I mentioned that. He beat Gamboa. He beat Victor Postal. He beat Jeff Horn, American, not Jose Zito Lopez. What's his name? Benavidez, Jose Benavidez. How can you say this? Not prime version of Kell Brook, but he has a long list in the smaller weight classes up to the 140. Exceptional, phenomenal Terrence Bud Crawford, absolute dog, absolute talent. There's not too many glaring flaws in his game. Ambidextrous, switch hitter. You know what I'm saying? Got some of the best. Somebody texted me. It's my auntie's birthday. Some of the best. What did Teddy Atlas say? Teddy Atlas says that he had the best instincts that he's ever seen, bar none, as far as being able to adapt in the ring. So, 60-40 situation with Errol Spence. I feel like he don't want to take that 60-40 because that's just too much of a sign of submission. And that's like the first sign of defeat going into the situation, given number 3 pick for me, Errol Spence, the leverage, already admitting defeat before the fight starts, giving him the ability to pick the territory, the fighting grounds, having the biggest decisions like Sun Tzu, the General Art of War. When you go into combat, the first thing you want to do is learn the landscape, learn the territory, and then pick your advantage point. You know what I'm saying? And Errol Spence will have the advantage point being that he's the A side, being that he's the, the biggest draw pay-per-view, and he's accomplished more at the welterweight division. Number 3, Errol Spence, the truth. We know he came in the game and He was running through your Chris Van Heerdings, your Chris Aguilera's. I probably said his name wrong off the top of the dome. I know it's not Aguilera, whatever. Then he has a fight with Kell Brook, goes across the pond. People throwing chocolate brownies at him. You know what I'm saying? Kell Brook is still a better version of himself than when he fought Terrence Bud Crawford, even though he was damaged coming off of the fight against GGG, Triple G. He went up to fight Triple G, dared to be great, got his eye socket bust, came back down, you know, after he dominated Shawn Porter, went up to fight Triple G, came back down, fought Errol Spence, and that ended with him on his knee, glove over his eye, you know what I'm saying, pretty much busted and beat down. Then we got Errol Spence. I think after he fought Kell Brook, he fought and defeated, I forget the guy's name, it'll come to me later, but he had his biggest fight, his most testing fight was against Shawn Porter, Showtime Shawn Porter, tooth and nail dog fight, beat Shawn Porter at his own. He fought Mikey Garcia. Don't let me forget that. He fought Mikey Garcia when a lot of people were saying Mikey Garcia boxing IQ was just too good for Errol Spence. Errol Spence was just a weight bully that came forward and relied on his power and didn't have too much boxing skills. Even you had guys like Sugar Ray Leonard and even Roy Jones Jr. that was kind of picking Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence dominates him boxing, using the jab, not coming in and just bulldozing. Then he fights Shawn Porter, tooth and nail fight, close fight, but he knocks down Shawn Porter in the 11th round, has a car accident. A lot of people, you know, sending out their prayers. To me, it was a dark time for boxing. Could have just as easily have been a situation like a Kobe Bryant where he passed away and, you know, he survived. He got back focused. He went to basically the training mode of eat, sleep, piss, shit, boxing, and fought Danny Garcia. Came out victorious. Number 3, Errol Spence. Another video for another day. The whole Errol Spence versus Terrence Bud Crawford 60-40 split, yada, yada, yada. Number 2 is The Takeover. Teofimo Lopez. Nobody gave this man a shot against Vasyl Lomachenko at all. He had a tough fight against Masayoshi Nakatani. Masayoshi Nakatani is like 6'1". Obviously a gritty guy. We see now that he came back and knocked out the last guy he was fighting after losing that fight. He came back and knocked him out. So Masayoshi Nakatani is a threat. He's kind of turning into a boogeyman out there. Who gonna step up to him? Anyway, comes around and he knocks out Richard Commey. Vasyl Lomachenko was sitting back in the audience. Welcome to my club. Welcome to my club. And that whole thing started to bubble. Let's get the Vasyl Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez. They negotiated over money a little bit. Vasyl Lomachenko took a little bit of a pay cut, went in there, and just pretty much gave up the first 7 rounds due to the fact that Teofimo Lopez was too big, he was too fast, he established ring generalship, he just worked off the jab, pretty much neutralized Lomachenko. Lomachenko tried to fight out of desperation, put his foot on the gas, had some good rounds, 8, round 10, round 9, about 3 or 4 rounds he had in there, round 12, Takeover took over, history. Some people want to argue whether or not he's unified, undisputed, yada, 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 franchise belt, Devin Haney. You know, we're not going to go into all that today. Another video for another day. Teofimo Lopez right now is at the top of the small guys. I think right now he beats, I don't want to make a prediction video, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think right now Teofimo Lopez, if they fought right now, I'm leaning towards Teofimo Lopez to beat Gervonta Tank Davis, to beat Ryan Garcia, to beat Devin Haney, to beat Shakur Stevenson. Teofimo Lopez will beat Lomachenko in a rematch. Teofimo Lopez can go up there and fight the likes of a Josh Taylor, a Jose Ramirez in the Rougarou. But we'll see what happens. I know some people will not agree. That's cool with me. You know what I'm saying? Leave your comments below. Number 2 on my list is The Takeover. Teofimo Lopez, I think he brought some excitement back to the boxing, beating somebody that was ranked pound for pound number 1 after he sparked Richard Commey, who's not, you know what I'm saying, a cakewalk for anybody. After he sparked Richard Commey in the fashion that he did, and then the way he turned it around and boxed Vasily Lomachenko, who no doubt, Vasily Lomachenko, you can look at his resume, already did Jorge Linares, Luke Campbell, Rigondeaux, Nicholas Walters. I mean, come on now. He goes in there and fights Teofimo Lopez and get outboxed. Teofimo Lopez is a technician. He's heavy-handed. He's crafty. He's big. He's a lot bigger than he used to be when he was 16 years old. And I think he's right now, as long as he don't go into this whole, you know what I'm saying, media darling, prima donna. I sure he got his braces. I wish he wouldn't even got the braces, man. When boxers get that money and get their teeth fixed, I'm like, nah, man, stay gutter until you at the end of your legacy or whatever. Digress. I think that's my digress number 3. This video could be an hour long. Trust me, I can go back over and mulch this shit down, but I'm not. My number 1 pick of 2020 going into 2021. I know it's a little bit controversial. I know some people won't agree. Some people will. Salute, respect, 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 respect. Number 1, Unos. Canelo. Saul. Cinnamon. Alvarez. The only blemish I see right now in my mind on his career, which I really can't count the loss to Floyd Money Mayweather, because Floyd Money Mayweather is fucking Floyd Money Mayweather. The only blemish that I hold against Canelo, 2 blemishes I hold against Canelo, but really not. Because, I mean, if I was to hold everybody accountable for this, then I wouldn't even make a list. Clenbuterol is number 1. I smudge out that blemish because, come on, man, you can go through here and dissect all these guys, to be honest with you. Not just my list, but the whole boxing world. I'm not going to go through and dissect the whole boxing world talking about PEDs. I'm not going to go there, not today. The only blemish I put is his fight against Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev, I felt like, even though he was moving up to fight this guy who was bigger, reach advantage, strong dude, fought against Bernard Hopkins, fought against Andre Ward. I mean, come on, man. He had a tough fight against Anthony Yarde, and he took some damage. He showed veteran tactics and won against Anthony Yarde, but it was a quick turnaround for him to fight Saul Canelo Alvarez, and I really don't think his body would cover. And I think they just used that very calculated risk to hurry up and pull him into the fight, not give him adequate time to prepare, and, you know, pretty much fatten him up for the slaughter. You know, they almost was going to weight drain him and put in the rehydration clause and dehydrate him to the slaughter, but I think they let him rehydrate. But nevertheless, either way, he didn't have the fortitude. I mean, he was already his body was still recovering, in my opinion. Then he gets knocked completely out to the point where some people couldn't even believe it was a real knockout. To me, I still look at that knockout and say it was a real knockout, but he kind of let himself get knocked out. Digress from that. Canelo redeems himself when he just fought Callum Smith. Callum Smith, to me, was a real threat, undefeated, had the advantages, all the advantages in the world, but couldn't take advantage of them. Had that long stick, couldn't keep Canelo off of him. Canelo ate the body up, devoured him, beat him down. Not to mention, Canelo has beat Daniel Jacobs, Triple G, Lori Londa. People don't want to give him credit for that fight. I felt like he did a lot of. I mean, Canelo, his Lori Londa moved around good, but once Canelo started breaking that body down and slowing down Londa, he beat him. To me, he won. As a champion, he did what champions do. Austin Trout beat Austin Trout. He beat Sugar Shane Mosley. Beat Cotto. The list goes on and on for Saul Canelo Alvarez, and right now he's the face of boxing. He's the man. He's numero uno. I would like to see him fight. I think he beats down Caleb Plant. I would like to see him fight Billy Joe Saunders. I would like to see him fight Beterbiev. I would like to see him fight Boo Boo Andre. I would like to see him fight Jamar Charlo. I would like to see him fight Errol Spence. That's not going to happen. But honestly, those guys, some of those guys, Jamar Charlo gives him some fits, but that's another video for another day. I digress. Andre Boo Boo, I think Canelo handles that business. The only one I'm kind of not knowing, I had to really do my research on Beterbiev. From what I hear, he's a bigger threat to Canelo, but Billy Joe Saunders, I think, is a good challenge and a good threat. I would like to see that fight, you know, a little 50-50, but I lean towards Canelo because to me, Billy Joe Saunders, although he moves well, I think he doesn't take punches very well, and Canelo Alvarez just hits different, period, point blank. He is a body snatcher, you know what I'm saying? Some people just work the body different, and I don't see too many people being able to endure that type of barrage of punches to the body that you get from a Cinnamon Alvarez or Errol Spence or Tank. My honorable mention to close out this video, who almost made it if it wasn't for Claressa Shields, was the Tartan Tornado, Josh Taylor. So anyways, man, that's my video. I hope y'all appreciated it. I know it's stretched out long, but I'm not gonna, you know, I'm long-winded when I talk, real talk. So anyways, man, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about the list. I know you want to rearrange some names. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, respect, respect, respect. Leave me your list in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, this is Nocturnal Thoughts. This is Boxing After Dark. Hit the subscribe button. You dig? You feel me? If you're day one and you've been rocking with me for the longest, for the 2 years,